Welcome to a brief introduction to QFTest for testing Java desktop applications within a browser using Webswing. QFTest is a tool for automated testing of applications with graphical user interfaces. It has been supporting testing of Webswing applications by its Java in browser approach since the year 2022. Webswing is a highly interesting solution that brings Swing and JavaFX desktop applications into the browser. The most common usage scenario is the migration of existing applications from a desktop application to a browser application. However, QFTest also supports testing other popular UI technologies such as native Windows applications, web applications, Java applications, or Android apps, and it can be used across the board. QFTest can also be integrated easily into existing test systems. But let me briefly show you QFTest. On the left you see the demo Java desktop application which has been launched by Webswing in the browser. On the right you can find the QFTest main window. The shown demo application is provided by a specific test suite within the QFTest installation package. Right at the beginning it should be noted that test cases in QFTest are displayed in a graphical tree to allow developers, test automation engineers and business testers to work together on test cases without going too deep into the source code. The nodes in this graphical tree stand for individual actions like mouse clicks or text inputs. You can also find verification steps, so-called check nodes, within the QFTest tree structure, but also control structures such as if nodes or loops for an extended execution flow control are possible within QFTest. For technically demanding cases, own code snippets can also be integrated in so-called script nodes in different scripting languages, which also offer full access to the Java components or the web objects of your application. Test cases and test steps can easily be created by capture and replay. Therefore, I start the recording mode in QFTest and perform the desired steps within my application. Let me enter some text to a text field. Let me select an item of a combo box, and perhaps let me press a button. After finishing the recording, I get the just executed actions as graphical nodes in my test suite, and now I can rename that sequence to any desired name, and now I can move that sequence to the desired location within my test cases. Equally convenient is the creation of verification steps, so-called checks in QFTest. There is even a separate recording mode for this existing, which can be triggered by a separate toolbar button. In order to record such checks now, we walk to our application, to the field which we would like to check, and perform a right mouse click. Now we see all the check types which are provided by QFTest. QFTest offers specially adapted checks for each UI component like text or editable state for text fields, or the current value or available values check for combo boxes. After selecting the desired checks and finishing the recording, we now receive the recorded checks in a separate sequence again, which we can simply rename and place it to any location in our test suite. To ensure that the application is working correctly in the browser, it is also possible to check the clicking behavior and the display of individual components using the so-called web mode. In order to minimize the maintenance efforts of our test suites later on, QFTest allows to work in a modular structure. Therefore, sequences can be swapped out into reusable procedures. With the help of packages and procedures, sequences and test steps can therefore be reused. For further flexibility, variables can be used at almost any point in QFTest to increase the reusability and flexibility of the test suites and structures they contain, like we see here in a text input or like the variable used in a check. Test data can either be managed internally or it can also be read easily from any external data source like Excel files or databases. After executing a test case, you will receive a log for each execution, which shows the executed steps. It is primarily intended for error analysis. In the event of an error, you will find a meaningful error message and screenshot of the current application during that point of time once the error occurs, which should support you in understanding the current situation better. For the presentation and documentation of test results, HTML overview reports can be generated manually or automatically. The test execution can also be triggered via command line and can thus be easily integrated into test management or continuous integration tools. For Jenkins, a suitable QFTest plugin is directly available. The very stable recognition of UI components works via the Java components of the application, even if you test it in the browser. This algorithm is based on a combination of technical properties of the components or their structure instead of pure geometry or pure HTML attributes. For complex components such as lists, tables, trees, it is possible to address the sub-elements directly, for instance entries in a list or cells in a table. The recognition of graphical components is done by a special heuristic recognition algorithm which abstracts the specific classes of them, so that it is even possible to migrate tests with little effort to a pure web application testing. If you are planning to migrate your application from Java to a web application, automated tests can support you in the process very efficiently and help you in ensuring quality. You can therefore reuse existing tests for your new development with little adaptation efforts and avoid regression. To try out QFTest, it's the best to simply download the latest version from www.qfs.de and there switch to the download area and download the current version there and simply install it. You can start directly without any further action. It is also best to apply for a 4 weeks testing license on the download page, which allows you to save your results later. In addition, you can contact our competent and helpful support team during the testing phase. QFTest is a well-established product for automation of UI tests from Germany for over 20 years. It is used by a wide range of national and international customers. It supports Java applications with Swing, JavaFX and Eclipse SWT, native Windows applications and web applications, including modern frameworks like Angular, React or Vue.js. Hybrid applications with embedded browsers, especially WebView or JX browser, or systems that display Java in the browser, such as Webswing or JPro, and also Electron applications, can easily be controlled. A new addition is the support of Android apps in the emulators or on real devices. All this is possible across Windows, Linux and macOS operating systems. Just try it yourself or arrange a starter webinar where we will be happy to answer your specific topics and questions. We look forward to hearing back from you. If you want to keep up to date about the latest news and tutorials, don't miss to subscribe to our channel.